Looking up at the bottom of the supercharger from underneath the car, I went ahead now and installed the remote drain line. It's just a drain plug down here. In order to install it, you remove this cap, which is on the bottom of the supercharger, right up there. And it's probably best to install it now. That way you can't risk breaking it off, and you can direct. It's got a little bit of an angle to it. You can direct it the way you want. And then when I'm all done here, I'll zip tie this drain line wherever it makes the most sense. But I just did that right now. You can definitely do it. Takes a little patience from underneath. And at least for mine, it was a 9/16 end wrench that allowed me to get up there. Now we have to trim the front of the shroud to make room for the dongle as well, because we're going to have to remove some material from this upper passenger side corner. So I'm going to go ahead and stuff this in from the bottom, and then we'll do some trimming. Okay, I fished up the shroud, and you can see those little marks that I made while it was up here. And if I measure and make a mark in the middle, that is the middle of where the dongle will be. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out now and do some cutting. I'm a big believer in you can always take more off, but you can't put more back on. So this is where I am going to start my cut, rather than jump headfirst in to copy this exactly. I can tell it's still a little bit too tight, so I'm going to widen it out a little bit on each side. You can see it's not sitting flat. Okay, I widened it out a smidge bit more, and now this is definitely sitting flatter. I'm going to reinstall this real quick and see where we're at in terms of how much more material we have to remove, and if we really need to cut that little dip out of the bottom. Yes, it does look like it would in fact be easier to get the dongle on and off if that's trimmed down a little bit. So I marked it and measured it, so hopefully I removed the minimal amount of material for my particular setup. All right, and here's what I'm going to be removing next. Okay, here's the new hole, and this definitely fits in a lot deeper. That's going to make the dongle much more manageable trying to install it and remove it once in a while when you have to clean the air filter. Next, I'm going to install the aluminum panel on the passenger side that helps direct air through the condenser, and it utilizes this existing hole in the skid frame that'll have to be drilled through here. But in order to get this piece flush where it needs to go, where I've got the horns not going to work, and I have to remove and relocate this outdoor air temperature sensor. This is the shroud that came out from around the radiator. On the passenger side lower, this is the outdoor air temperature sensor. We've got to remove it from this plastic here, and we're going to relocate it so it's strapped to the radiator support. Let me get this stuff taken care of, and then I'm going to get this panel installed. This is where I remounted. There was a hole in the subframe here. This is the outdoor air intake temperature sensor, and that's where that ended up. But first we need to make sure the radiator is where it belongs. And so we temporarily, again, install this upper shroud. Take these rubber bushings off of the radiator post, shove them through the metal shroud, and then lube up the inner part of the rubber with some spit and push it down over this post. That's the easiest way to do that. When you push this shroud towards the front of the car, there is a bolt in the middle that's sticking out. You want to make sure the shroud is above that. It's right below that little easy nut right there that you can see. And then gently tighten it up on both sides with the top post of the radiator properly situated. This gives us the proper radiator orientation so we can install the shrouds underneath the C6. And with the bottom of the radiator positioned where it needs to be, get this panel where you want it. Use the existing hole in the side of the radiator support and drill yourself a hole right through it. Then use a bolt and washer supplied in this kit to lock it in place. Moving right along, we now have the driver's side and the passenger side panels that direct air into the condenser and radiator in place. So now we can mount the intercooler. I've got this hanging here from above. It's basically a plumb bob, and it's showing me the center of the car. So now I'm going to mark the locations over here and here. I'll put some tape there, put the intercooler in place, center it, and then we'll mark the holes for drilling. All right, I've got it bolted in place. Everything looks good from down here, but I'm going to go up top and take a look and make sure everything seems to line up as it should. And lastly, go ahead and mount the duckbill. Use a tiny bit of anti-seize on these button head screws and make sure the bill's tilt is angled somewhat down and not up. Now it's time to remove the material on the radiator so that the charge tube from the intercooler to the throttle body can sit just a smidge lower. We'll do that the exact same way that we did the one where the dongle goes. Okay, I'm going to go down there and get the belt put on and get it tensioned properly. I do have the adjuster here in the fully open position, which is straight up. So that's ready to go. I've just got the bolts that hold on to it hand tight for now. This is where I'll put the wrench to snug it down, but I got to go underneath there and get the belt routed properly and take a really close look and make sure it's not hitting on our water pump that we clearanced. Okay, we've got the belt right here, and it just needs to get routed around the harmonic balancer and the idler pulley up here, and the water pump, power steering pump, and the alternator. So get your fingers up in there and you can fish it around everything. Okay, we still have the tensioner locked in place with this pin so that it's in the open position. Got the belt on the alternator, the power steering pump, the idler, the harmonic balancer, and I'm going to go up here now and adjust the tension. Then we'll come back down and release the pin so that the spring tensioner right here can apply the tension to the belt. All right, this is the left-handed bolt here, so it will not loosen, don't worry about it. So we'll just push down with a little bit of pressure on this, and then at the same time, we will tighten up the idler bracket by mainly tightening down here where it's slotted, and then tighten this one up here as well. Go back down, remove the pin, and the belt is tight. And we don't have to put a ton of pressure on this, just nice and snug. All right, now with the socket wrench, I'll just release the tension on the spring tensioner, pull out this pin, and now this will provide the proper belt tension. I just pulled the pin, and there we go. Belt is tensioned. And of course, here is the area that we used a grinder to remove material, and as best I can tell, we've got plenty of room. Next, I'm going to install the little stub tube that goes to the bottom of the supercharger, and for this, I'm going to use the 3/6 clamps, one to the supercharger and one to hold on to this little tube. Okay, I've got this pipe bolted on. You want to access it from this side. You can actually get it from up above later on if it ever slips off. So this faces the passenger side. This faces the front, and you can also get at this from above if it needs to be tightened up. Where I've got the drain line for the supercharger, we've got a little wiring harness and a cable here. So I've wrapped the braided line with some fuel line that I cut right down the middle and zip tied it because I don't want it sawing through my electrical connections. So I'm confident this wiring harness can coexist next to our drain line now that it's protected. Now I've added the silicone tubing that's going to escape out towards the passenger side. The blow-off valve will be over here, and then it will go to the intercooler. This is probably the biggest silicone hose that's custom made, and it routes just like you see here. It does get pinched a little bit between the sway bar and the cradle. And I remember on the C5 8 years ago, I was kind of worried that it might rub a hole in it, but I keep an eye on it, and this hose is super durable, and so far on the C5 after 8 years, it still looks like new. So I don't have any concerns about that. So over here, we get to underneath the fender area in front of the passenger side tire. Got our little stub here on the blow-off valve. I got to finish hooking this up. There will be an inlet for vacuum and a plug. From here, it goes to the front into the intercooler that we've already talked about to dissipate that heat. And from there, it goes up into the mighty LS2. Next, from underneath, I'm going to go ahead and stick the fan back in place and see if we can't start buttoning things up between the radiator and the engine. All right, let's go ahead and finish off this heater hose, which needs to make its way all the way to the reservoir over here. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it right here. And then I'll use the splice kit that's included as part of the overall package and get this routed nice and neatly over the fan shroud into the reservoir. To make a little bit more room for the heater hose, I'm going to go ahead with a die grinder and take off some of that block. I think that was in the instructions. I probably should have done that earlier, but better late than never. Make sure this is capped off so you don't get a bunch of debris in there. There, that makes it fit quite a bit better as we slide the heater hose down underneath the air filter dongle. Okay, we have the heater hose routed in front of the blower, behind the fan shroud, up on top of the fan shroud, and over to the reservoir. The steam line is reconnected. I've got that routed on top. It seemed like a more logical route given the length of the hose for me, at least at this time. So that's all buttoned up. I've got the dongle clamped to the supercharger, so that's good. Got to put that clamp on yet. And we've got the inlet tube from the intercooler to the throttle body cinched down. Hopefully that's down far enough. There still is more room if we had to drop it down before we'd hit the radiator. So next I'll go ahead and refill the coolant.